Hey, it's Ryan from upfitsupply.com, and in this video, we're gonna be unboxing the DuraTherm wall liners for Ford Transit vans. Let's get into it. All right, these are the DuraTherm wall liners for Ford Transit cargo vans from Legend. These are specifically for the 148-inch wheelbase mid-roof Transit. They are different sizes depending on your particular wheelbase length, your body length, and your roof height. So just make sure you get all that correct. One thing I want to point out here is just how massive this box is. You know, it's a good 6 feet long, probably 4 to 5 feet in width, just a couple of inches thick, but it's really large. And so because of that, it does have to ship via an LTL freight carrier. It can't go UPS, FedEx, anything like that. This one's coming in at 38 pounds, not super heavy, but just bulky and large. It does have to go on a pallet. One thing I want to show you on this packaging before I take it out of the box is right up here, I do have a QR code. It says scan for instructions. That's how you're going to get your installation instructions for these liners. You're going to scan it with your phone and you get the latest copy of those. We're also going to be installing this in the van behind me, which is a 148-inch mid-roof Transit, so be sure to check that video out if you're interested in how to install these. The other thing I want to show you is you can see there's a little orange label that says hardware enclosed, and there's a little red ribbon. Attached to that is going to be your hardware. So if you can't find it, it's going to be taped to this ribbon, maybe inside the box. So I always like to show that in these videos so you can locate that hardware, and if it's missing, you'll know right away. So here we have our hardware. Go ahead and cut this out. And in this particular kit, it looks like it's all plastic push and clips. We'll talk about this a little bit later, but let's pull this out of the box. Okay, now that I got this out of the box, there's going to be, it looks like 5 pieces plus hardware. They give you a little packing slip in here that shows you all the pieces that should be in the box. So if you're missing a piece, you'll know from this. We do have these smaller pieces, which I believe are used for the top portion of the van. I could be wrong. And 2 of them here. And I'll just use these for demo purposes because they're so small, but the DuraTherm liner is really, they're armor plates for the van. So if you think about the van, it's all bare sheet metal in the back of the van. There's no interior paneling or anything like that a lot of the times. And so that means when you're putting your tools and your equipment, your cargo in the van, and you hit the wall or you hit the ceiling or a door or something like that, you're actually hitting the sheet metal that is also the exterior sheet metal of the van. And so it's kind of like putting a dent in your van every time you do something like that. And so that means paint can chip, it means corrosion, rust, all that. And so these are armor plates to protect the interior of the van. And they do that with this dual plastic layered panel. So we got a layer of plastic right here on the top surface. And then there's a central core fluted plastic in the middle. Then there's another layer of plastic behind that. And then the DuraTherm liners actually have this layer of black insulation behind the plastic, and then this layer of foil, which provides great insulation benefit. But the primary reason that you get these is to protect the van. Now they do offer this in a couple of different colors. This is the gray color. If you get gray, it actually has a textured surface on it. You can also get it in white. If you get the white, it's just a flat surface. I do have a demo piece right here I can show you. So you can see our white versus our gray. Again, white is just flat, no texture on it. And then our gray does have that texturing on it. Gray is by far the most popular. It seems to hide, you know, scuffs and scratches and stuff like that. Again, this is what's gonna take the hits rather than the sheet metal in the van. So, you know, you hope that it does get scratched and not the interior of your van. So the textured gray seems to hide some of the scratches and imperfections that happen over time as you use them. A white surface obviously is going to show marks and things like that pretty easily. So gray seems to be the most popular. I did mention that it does have the insulation on the back, which does provide some benefit. And then this is just kind of a precision cut liner. It fits all the little nooks and crannies in the van, around them. And then it attaches in a couple of different ways. Depends on the vehicle, but in this case, for the Ford Transit 148-inch wheelbase mid-roof wall liners, they all attach using these plastic cushion clips. And so they're just your traditional kind of trim Christmas tree clips, if you will. They're gonna go through pre-drilled holes in the panel, and then they're gonna attach to existing holes that are already in the wall in the van. So pretty simple to attach these to the vehicle. Now in some vehicles or in some other panels like your door liners or your ceiling liners, sometimes you do have to use some self-threading screws. Those will be included in the kit, but those will also have pre-drilled holes specific for those screws, so you know that you're drilling those and attaching those to a safe location in the van. But for this kit, it is all plastic push-in clips, which is nice. You don't have to worry about putting holes in the van or anything like that. So we do have two small pieces here. Let's just go through these other ones. We have our parts list. Because these panels are so big, a lot of times they do get folded to fit into the box, or else you'd be talking about extreme freight charges. So this looks like it might be the rear driver's side panel. I could be wrong. I've been wrong in these videos on the placement. Make sure you watch that install video if you want to know exactly where everything goes. Got a panel here. We've got another big panel here. This looks like it goes around a wheel well. This actually might be the right rear, because we do have that wheel well on the bottom that you can see there. I do want to point out a couple of things on these liners. This one has it so you can see down there, you kind of have a cut through the insulation right there. So that is pre-scoring. So what they do is, because there's so many different options that you can get your transit van in, so many different configurations. Sometimes you have certain components, a lot of times like foam blocks or different pieces of plastic trim and things like that. LED lights, if you're talking about the ceiling liners, all those kinds of things that might be additional add-ons. It's hard to account for that and have a different liner for every single one of those variations. And so what they do is they kind of give you the most coverage with the liner, and they pre-score some locations on the back on where you may need to trim a little piece off. So right here, it looks like you may need to do some trimming for something on some vans. And what they do is they basically cut to the insulation and 1/2 of the plastic. So it's all attached on, you know, the side that you can see in the van, but on the back, it is pre-scored. And basically all you're gonna do, take your sharp razor blade and kind of follow that line and get a nice clean cut. So there may be some trimming that you need to do depending on your van. They give you extra material to cut away, rather than, you know, it coming to you and missing a chunk of it and you need it, and you know, it's hard to add pieces back, a lot easier to remove it. So we do have one of our panels here. Now, the reason I think that this one is the right rear is a lot of times they put their little Legend emblem on the driver's side rear panel. So that may be what this one is. We also do have our wheel well cut out right there. And then it looks like we do have another folded liner right here. Looks like another wheel well. This may be the passenger side rear. So that first panel I showed you is probably gonna be the driver's side forward. And as I look in there now, I do see a little bit of curvature right there that would match that. But just a precision cut liner that's gonna fit all the nooks and crannies. And you know, it takes all the guesswork out of having to figure out your wall panels and all of that. So again, pretty cool product here from legendfleet. This is the DuraTherm. What makes DuraTherm different from other wall panels is that it has that insulation on the back. It's gonna cut down on road noise. It's gonna help control temperatures in the back of the van and things like that. As you know, it's just bare sheet metal back there, so it's extremely loud, especially on the highway. And then it's just super hard to cool it or heat it, you know, depending on what you got going on with the partition in the cab and all that. And so temperatures can be really hard to control in a van if it's just all bare sheet metal back there. Now, if you're looking for the DuraTherm wall panels for your Ford Transit or any other equipment to get your van ready for work, be sure to check us out at upfitsupply.com. Again, my name is Ryan, and have a good one.